Hey, welcome to your Aquarius horoscopes for the week of the 13th through the 20th of January. Focus is still on those that support you, which is actually very interesting. Being an Aquarius myself, it's not that nobody supports me. That's not the case. But I also find being an Aquarius that we can be so particular that our best support system really is ourselves in so many ways, just because um it's irritating for other people to deal with us, I guess. It's the Aquarius curse. It really is. We are kicking off the end of the week, the very end of the week on Saturday. The Sun and Pluto move officially into Aquarius at the same time, literally both of them ending the week 0 degrees in Aquarius, which means boom, this weekend it is officially Aquarius season. If you're like me, you started celebrating already, probably, to be honest with you. Soon as I see those Valentine's decorations up, they have decorated for my birthday because my birthday is the day after Valentine's Day. So we got a couple of things going on here. First of all, the Sun and Pluto coming into Aquarius in a square with Jupiter. Now, Pluto being 29 degrees Capricorn all week long, this square is definitely going to be felt all week long, because it is there on the cusp. And Jupiter is really focused on inner trauma and not being retrograde. We're looking at the mass amount of trauma that we're still walking around with. What's interesting is I've done a lot of inner child work. I've done a lot of work cleaning out that closet. Myself specifically, I've done a lot of work cleaning out that closet. And it's very disconcerting when you go back to take a peek and realize there's still just as much crap in there as it seems that there was when you first started, because um, it takes a really long time to work through those instances and reprogram that mindset. And there's a lot of layers to it. There's acceptance, there's just so much going on there. So it does seem a little bit disconcerting, but this is really coming up around because focus is on career. Pluto and the Sun are bringing that career focus into the limelight here right now. And we're about to move into focusing on career and legacy, who you are, and the elements of who you are that you want people to remember long after you're gone. So, in terms of success, the amount of trauma that you have is not necessarily what's going to make or break your success. However, I have been noticing lately in the last week or so some pretty crazy things coming up, specifically that are things that I would normally avoid because I don't have time. And when I say don't have time, what I mean is don't want to do. It's an emotional experience that I am just not willing to deal with right now. I don't have time for that. I'm going to move on. But the thing is that if you don't make time, you stay stuck where you are. And so the universe is like, okay, girlie, you said you don't want to be stuck anymore. So you're dealing with this right now. It's uncomfortable and it's kind of miserable. And again, nobody really wants to take the time to delve into your emotional past. Aquarians, especially, would rather just forget it and pretend they were hatched out of an egg somewhere. But it is necessary. And in going through and releasing, I'm also making space and eliminating bags of excuses that I've used before in terms of my own success. And there's a lot of things that have been very interesting also that I've been learning about lately in terms of laziness, procrastination, um, being busy without actually doing anything. All of these are trauma responses. And understanding where that trauma comes from helps you to release it. So it's not holding you back. Here's a really good example, actually. When I was a kid, and I'm a writer and I love to write. I mean, I love to write. I've always loved to write, but I just can never find the time. I never find the time to do it. I'm working on a whole retrograde series right now. I've gotten two of those books out. In terms of that retrograde series, haven't been able to sit down and write anything. And it has nothing to do with the amount of time, because trust me, I have plenty of time and I waste a lot of time. But when I was a kid, and this kind of popped in my head going through this whole experience here, when I was a kid, my stepfather was a big fan of sentences. And, so if I didn't do the dishes right, if he found one little speck of dirt on one dish, right, he would make me write 1,000 times, not 20, 25, 100 times, 1,000 times, I will clean the dishes properly. And I remember sitting at that table and being stuck there for days. It really did feel like days. If I went anywhere, I had to take it with me so I could work on it, so I could get it done. My butt started hurting and my back started hurting. And you know how kids are, they get uncomfortable and they start moving around, and all that. And all of a sudden, I realized the link between that, being forced to sit there and write, and my laziness in the writing now, which I thought something else was completely controlling all of that. It turns out it goes even farther back than that. And so now what I can do with that is I can, I accept, okay, that did happen and I survived it and it's over and it's in my past and it's not going to happen again. And then tell myself now when I sit down and write, that is not what I'm doing. I'm not wasting my time writing a bunch of BS sentences for somebody who just likes to be mean to people and control them. He was kind of a narcissist, but I'm actually doing something for myself. And this is my legacy. So it's something that no matter what happens, it can continue to live beyond me. And some of the best artists became famous after they were already gone. This is all information that I would like to continue to teach people well after I'm gone. And so by separating those two things, putting the sentences in their place, implementing a new mindset and a new system for what I'm doing, it does help me to actually make the right choices when it comes to how I utilize that time, if that makes sense. So we Aquarians, I love being an Aquarius and I hate being an Aquarius at the same time, because there's two things that are really difficult about being an Aquarius. One is that we're not non-emotional. We just don't act like it in front of people. And that means that we use oftentimes the wrong emotions in order to protect ourselves so that we don't get emotional, we don't hurt, the tears don't come out of our eyes, right? And so in some cases, that makes things easier for me to flip that switch when I need to, but it also doesn't make it easier for me to work through my own BS, if that makes sense. The other thing is this here and the constant overthinking, which is also a trauma response, because you have to be perfect. God forbid we put something out there that isn't absolutely perfect. And that is the trauma response also. So by separating all of that and just doing what you're pulled to do, I feel like we spend way too much time thinking about whether or not that's necessary and just not enough time doing it anyways. You don't need to know if it's necessary. You may find out later. It might just be necessary for you to get it out and send it away, to possibly help other people. You never know. So that's what I have for you guys this week. Lots of fun stuff about to start happening in Aquarius because we have a lot of planets that are about to move into Aquarius for the next couple of months. So we'll see some magic happening. We'll see some challenges popping up. That's okay. It's going to be a fun ride no matter what. So that's what I have for you guys this week. If you love your horoscopes, do consider sending a tip or donation through my coffee link, which is below this video down here. Really appreciate that. I really appreciate all the coffee love. I really do. I'm Melissa Bruce, Heavy Metal Psychic. I will see you guys next week when we're full on in Aquarius season. Yay! You guys make it a great week because if anybody's going to do it, it's us, right? It's just what we do. It's our MO, right? I know you'll make it a great week. I'm going to make it a great week, and I'll see you guys next week.